r/ask Reddit. What is something we can all agree on being a dong move? Not paying someone back or being difficult when you owe money to someone. Don't ever give out personal loans. Give out one-time gifts without expectation of repayment. If they pay you back, then you might gift again in the future. Otherwise, it's a one-time thing. I worked with a flaming train wreck of a woman in China. We worked 2 days a week and were compensated about $900 per month for it. Plus, we got work visas, which is why we were in it. You can live on $900 a month fine in the USA. In China, it is even less of a ducking deal. I could save on that amount, but of course worked a few other jobs in my spare time. Most of us were netting like $3,000 monthly. She lived on working 2 days a week, and that wasn't good enough for her. She would always ask for loans of like 500 RMB, $80-ish, when payday was looming. Every ducking time, I usually gave it up because she was so annoying, and because she always paid back when we got our salary. 1 month, she swore up and down that I had only given her 400 RMB. I insisted on 500 RMB casually, but wasn't that pissed. I would eat the 15-ish USD and never lend again. It would be worth it to honestly not dread the third week of the month. That was when the nagging for cash would start. She finally remembered that she owed 500 RMB. She was like, good thing for you. All I could think was, no, moron. Good thing for you. I would have lost 15 bucks. You would have lost your apartment as soon as I told everyone else that keeping your lazy, stupid ass afloat cost me beer money. Getting on the train before letting other passengers get off the train first. Same for the elevator. I was going down the elevator once. This one isn't too busy, but occasionally there will be someone waiting to get on when I get off or vice versa. But it's like 1/20 uses. Anyway, I'm going down and the doors open and this older, maybe 60s or 70s aged lady literally has her face at the door, waiting to get on. Startled me a bit, tbh, because she was like right square in the doorway. She moved off to the side a bit to let me off. At least yours moved. There's a lady in my apartment building that does this constantly and pushes her way past me before I can get off the elevator. SMH. Old people. Cutting in line when there's no emergency. Although I don't call people out on it, I'm always glad when there is someone else in line who isn't as timid and does so. The people who do those things are depending on people not speaking up. Taking someone else's lunch from the break room fridge. Had a guy I worked with who was notorious for this. One day he sees me in the break room and goes, I didn't know that was yours. I took a drink from that. I figured I'd teach him a lesson. So I said, you know I have herpes, right? He got all bug-eyed and freaked out. Then I thought, I don't want him spreading rumors about me. So I said I don't. But if I did, you'll be screwed. That's why you don't do that. I didn't know that was yours. I would have said you sure as shit knew it wasn't yours though. Throwing your trash on the floor. Especially when there's a trash can right over there. Littering in general irks me. If I am hanging with someone and they litter, I quickly consider them a trashy person. Most of the time I'll tell them to just pick it up, but my mind about their character has already been made up. Taking up multiple seats on public transit when you can easily sit in one. Open bracket. Caveat. It's fine if it's mostly empty. This is the worst. Especially if it's someone who put their bag on the seat next to them. I get it. You want your personal space. But we're all in this sardine can together. So we might as well compromise. Edit. Let me clarify that this is when the vehicle in question is crowded. If there are other open seats, having a bag on the seat is no problem. But if somebody is standing because a purse or backpack needs its own spot of honor, then it's a dong move. I ride the train to work most days and people do this all the time. However, I don't have any qualms about asking them to move their bag so I can sit down. And I've never had someone say no. Ducking your best friend's girlfriend. Also ducking your girlfriend's best friend. Also ducking your girlfriend's sister. Ordering expensive food and or drinks while out with friends and that guy says at the end, let's split it all evenly. My wife has a lot of pretty wealthy friends, and we'll go out to group birthday dinners with them sometimes. This is especially a problem if we do tapas because there are a few guys that will just order a shit ton of food and expensive plates, expensive wine, and then expect to just split it evenly with everyone. My wife just tells them duck that and pays for what we ate. It's awkward. I've never understood this. Maybe it's because I'm from the Midwest, but when I got out with friends we always pay for ourselves. No reason in paying extra because Greg wanted appetizers and a steak. Beating another driver to a parking space, even though they were there first, with blinkers on, about to take it. Like in the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. Face it, lady, we're younger and faster. Ram's car. Face it, girls, I'm older and I have more insurance. Standing up to get your bags and crowd the gate door because you're Mr. Big shit just after flight attendants told everyone to stay seated so medical personnel could evac the guy at the back of the plane who just had a heart attack in front of his kids. Anytime someone ignores emergency personnel is thoughtless and selfish. I once got the finger from the car behind me because I moved to the shoulder for an ambulance to pass. Likewise, people who park in a fire lane, I hope they all get very expensive tickets. I had a woman pass me when I pulled over for an oncoming ambulance. The ambulance had to slam on their brakes to avoid a head-on collision. Things YouTubers consider pranks. Usually. General rule of pranks is that at the end of them, the victim should be laughing. Apparently this isn't common knowledge. Now the victim should be a corpse at the end of a good prank. A few friends and I were eating. Bill came to the table. We all laid out our tip money, and my friend's boyfriend started pulling money out of the tip for his meal. The look on my friends' faces. I hope you stopped him. You misspelled slapped it. Thanks for the silver. Trying to merge onto the interstate and them speeding up making you essentially stop to get on. If we both would have continued at the same pace I would have been fine to get on, but no. Also, doing 34 miles per hour down the on-ramp to a highway with a 70 miles per hour speed limit and holding up everyone behind you trying to get on that highway. I despise this because so many semi-trucks use highways and can't exactly drastically slow down on a dime or lane change on the fly. So I see my life flashing before my eyes every single time I'm stuck behind someone puttering along on an on-ramp. Cutting someone off in a lane just to slow way the duck down and make a last-minute turn. Or pulling out in front of someone when there's no one else coming behind them. Ugh yes. Like you couldn't wait 10 more seconds, jackass. Offering something and taking back your offer. I had a friend that was offered a job recently. Good pay, in her field and it looked good. For reference, she was a PhD graduate who got a research position. So she got the offer and then put a deposit on an apartment and got ready for work. A few days before starting, the university rescinded the offer. In a bind, she applied to other positions but got no bites. The window for hiring for Eunice was over. She took jobs as a housekeeper and other cash fast jobs. Eventually she left the country for her home country. Such a dong move by the school. Sounds like promissory estoppel. Your friend could have possibly sued for that. Don't know if someone already said this, but not using headphones in a public place. Or even worse, playing your music from a boombox or speaker, like Jesus Duck. There was a time where I was eating dinner at a late night restaurant with some friends and there was a couple blasting R&B out of their phone. We just ignored it, lol. JFC people do this in the sauna at my gym when it's full of other people and it drives me up the ducking wall. Like, this is supposed to be a dark, quiet, serene place for people to relax, not some extra place for you to stream your goddamn YouTube trash out of the world's tiniest speaker. Your stupid phone came with headphones and they sell them at every drugstore on earth for under $5. Use them. With a few friends drinking at a bar, talking with a girl, I go to the bathroom. Friends tell her that I'm gay. Girl lost interest in me. Doesn't seem like they're your friends. Not anymore, no. Cut them off. Repeatedly ghosting on your plans with frienda. I had a friend who used to do this. Dude was awesome and I always wanted to chill, but he would invite me out to a bar or a show and I would get there and 10 minutes later he would text me saying he couldn't make it. Like he made the plans and then waited till I got there and cancelled. He moved away, but that was some dong level shit right there. I despise people who do that. They will tell you they are about to leave the house. Yep, man, I'm on the way. When you text 30 minutes later, they're still at home. BC they had to put a shirt in the dryer. They fell asleep and now don't wanna come. Or some other stupid BS. Taking 2 parking spaces so nobody scratches your precious car. At a mall with absolutely no parking left on Christmas Eve last year, I saw a brand new Alpha Giolito which had done this and been written on with lipstick and magic marker when I arrived. When I left, someone else had also keyed his door. Not me, I promise. What did the message say? Tailgating. If you are driving so close behind me that I end up paying the same level of attention to my rear view mirror as I do the road ahead of me, duck you. Someone on Reddit telling you they sent you a pic of their cat but it's their dog instead. Like, come on. Did I ask for much? Getting an erection. That's a big dong move. Not necessarily. Being mean to a dog for no reason or mistreating any animal for that matter. Being mean to a person for no reason or mistreating any person for that matter. Being in a relationship with someone for nearly a year. A few days before our anniversary. Coming over for a date night. Everything's normal. Have sex. Watch a movie and play some games. Kisses you goodbye then blocks your number and all social media. r/suspiciously specific. My first real girlfriend kind of did this to me. We were together for a year. She broke up with me abruptly and absolutely refused to explain why. I was devastated. A few years later I was talking to a mutual friend who said she thought I did a bunch of crazy shit. Turns out her new roommate was a fire starter who told her that I had been hitting on her. I didn't. Along with some other bullshit. The funny part is like 15 years later I came across the ex on social media and sent the "How are you doing? Long time. I hope all is well." She blocked me with no response. Blocking the zipper merge. Obey the zipper method. How hard is that? We learned how to take turns in like 2nd grade. I wonder what is going on in people's heads that think they're better than that. One of the reasons to obey the zipper method is that it's the fastest way to merge 2 lanes together. Do not cut in early. Alternate one at a time. That's all there is to it. I can't wait for autonomous cars to obey this and make even less traffic for all of us. Acting like friends never existed as soon as you get in a relationship. Asking someone about something they know the other person doesn't get or have. And then like, oops, I forgot. You don't have any. Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh. What am I saying? Of course you don't. An adult stealing a foul ball from a kid at a baseball game. Yep, some guy got flamed for doing this live on TV. Turns out he'd caught several at the game and was passing them around to the people around him. The kid had already been given one. What kind of statistical fluke has one fan in the entire stadium catching several foul balls during a single game? Not pulling over to the shoulder when an ambulance is coming. Ghosting people you've been dating. This happened to me recently. Went on numerous dates with a guy. Chatted every day. Everything was going great. Great to the point he invited me to a family function. I was busy so didn't end up going. 1 week later he bails on plans we had and I haven't heard from him since. It's a pretty shitty feeling. Peeing on the seat. Throwing your money down on the counter instead of handing it to the cashier like a normal person at it. Guys, placing the money on the counter is one thing. But pulling it out of your wallet and throwing it towards the cashier with an already open hand is another thing. Nobody wants loose change and cash thrown all over the place. It's a good way for it to go missing, cause I'm sure as hell not going to go under the counter looking for it. People used to do that to me all the time when I was a cashier and it pissed me off. I would always return the favor. It's the opposite in Japan. There is a little tray for you to put the money in. You never hand it directly to the cashier. I went to Japan. It has a distinctly different air about it. Easier to pick up, for one. But it also doesn't feel like you're throwing the money at them in some kind of disdainful gesture. Treating people like crap but still expect them to be always nice and do what you want. But we're FFAAMMILLLYI. FFRINs. How can you be so CROELL? Stealing my pizza rolls. Scooping all the good stuff from the soup container at a buffer/work cafeteria. Like, they bring out a new pot but 5 people later there's nothing left but broth. Edit for context. A new pot of soup came out at 11:15. At 11:20 I'm standing behind a teammate and I watched as he repeatedly filled the ladle with ingredients, dumped broth back out, and put the rest in his soup cup. He repeated this until his cup was entirely filled with the meat, vegetables, etc. No broth. By the time I get to the thing there's literally nothing left in the pot but hot savory water. There was a guy who went on a tear about this kind of thing on YouTube. He was on a cruise, waiting in line for fish and chips at the buffet. Chef, or whoever, brings out a tray with about 30 servings on it. Two old ladies grab all but like 2 of the servings and walk off with them, and everybody behind them was like, WTF. I see you've never witnessed crab leg night at the local buffet. Carrying on a long and loud conversation on the phone on public transportation. No one cares about your startup. Jeremy. Playing music aloud in public. Using the last of the toilet paper roll without replacing it. Turning on your signal at the last possible second. One that I've come to realize is a huge dong move is parking on a residential street, right in front of the stop sign, just so you can make sure your child has their coat, lunch, backpack, lovey what the duck ever, and talk to them for 10 minutes before they cross the street to go to their school. FFS. If you need to do all that, go into the parking lot for crying out loud and stop blocking duck-ine traffic. Kicking someone's dog into the sun. My buddy opened a bar earlier this year, and he will ask customers if they want a shot of tequila or something, and of course they will say yes. Then he asks them whose tab to put it on and charges them for it. Total dong move. He's going to run his customers away. Telling young or inexperienced people playing a game that they suck and shouldn't be allowed to play unless they are skilled at what anybody who plays a competitive mode in an online game does when they play with other people who aren't competing. Like it's the Super Bowl edit. The mode doesn't matter. You're still an a-hole for unilaterally declaring that other players are not good enough for your standards. Hooking up with someone a friend just broke up with. In the US, driving in the left lane on a highway when you are not passing. Promising to pay someone back and then denying that they owe you any money a week later. Leaving your shopping cart in the middle of the parking lot. There is even a corral for duck's sake. Your lazy ass doesn't even have to walk back to the store. Have 50 things in your cart and sprint to be in line before me when I only have 5 things in my cart. Chill, Brenda. The store isn't going anywhere. Betting $1 more than someone on The Price is Right. I've never understood why they didn't create some kind of minimum gap between bids, especially when it happens to the last person to get called from the audience. I ducking kill myself right there on the show. A boss never counting those extra hours when you stay past 11 PM to work with him on essential projects for the board when everyone else has gone home, but who then starts micromanaging your time off when you make it clear that you have to move back home, another state, in a month or 2 for family reasons. If you're a guy, working on your Kegels, constantly interrupting and talking over people, giving a kid detention for being bullied and not doing anything to the bully, bringing up an introvert's introvertedness. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.